Market conditions majority bullish. SP futures down 0.41 this morning. We're seeing 13 and 1 on the trend condition stack right here. That's been hovering and playing around with that 14 and 0 and 13 and 1 number, but starting to curl back just a little bit right here at these levels. Be watching for a demand location around 6,600 on S&P 500. We've already got an extended uptrend. We know where we're at in this trend. The weekly time frame also very extended. Just watching to see what kind of reaction we get into some selling, if we're going to get some demand popping into one of these pivot points around that 6,600 or not. We've seen continued weakness in this overall breadth of the market. We're seeing at 53% on the number of stocks above the 50-day moving average, majority bearish on that trend condition, with a squeezing stack right here. And again, that when that starts to compress like this, we're looking for a decision point for it to expand this direction, just like this range over here is also a decision point. When we get really expanded, it typically will not maintain that level of aggressiveness one way or the other, to the bullish side or the bearish side. So we're kind of at an indecision point right here, watching to see if we do get this expansion to the downside. Obviously that's going to be bearish for S&P 500 if we get more and more stocks trending to the downside. Anything lower than the 50-day moving average, we've at least got that 50-day time frame, which is about 2 months, 3 months on average, to be able to say, yeah, those stocks are in significant downturns. Keep an eye on that. We're also seeing VIX elevated this morning here, but above 17, and we've seen that chart pattern starting to show a little bit of softness right here. Majority bullish now on VIX, back to 8 and 6. So keep an eye on volatility right here. When volatility spikes so fast, when that does happen, that now's the time to be paying attention, and be paying attention for, or positioning your portfolio for any kind of downside volatility, being aware of where we're at, that we could get a demand block right here around 6,600. But we're seeing some softness here in breadth and VIX also, as well as price activity. S&P 500 closed out yesterday at 14 and 0. Dow Jones Industrial Average, also be watching for, if we break through this 457 range, then next stop's going to be that 451. Next stop will be that 443. So we've got some room right here to run on retracement, giving opportunity for bullish demand to step in at multiple locations to help us decide if this overall uptrend is coming to a close, or if we are going to get additional demand that pops in just on a little bit deeper retracement. That may be what demand is looking for, is a little bit lower price action to be able to get in once we do get some retracement. Triple Qs, we're seeing that here as well. 592 retracement zone is around that 582 range. Even deeper retracement back to this demand block at 563 on triple Qs. Didn't see the Dow or the these are not the futures for the Dow or the triple Qs either. So futures are curling. Obviously, the S&P and those that had closed out yesterday are not. Let's look at the Russell 2000. We're seeing the Russell holding here at 239 pre-market, pulling back a little bit, a couple points here as well. Again, looking like we're going to get some volatility here at these levels. USO finding that little spike here. Got some slowness here in connection. Back to majority bullish, holding now up above that 382, finding support 1, 2, 3, 4 days of support around 72 on USO. Finding demand, looking for that compression to start to expand out. That could be in the bullish direction, getting more and more confirmation. The best confirmation would be closing up above that 78 range. That's going to get us back to the momentum zone, and then we could see some acceleration in oil, which could ultimately be bearish for stocks as well. The higher some of those commodity prices go, it just becomes an additional higher expense for most companies dealing with the cost of oil. Gold continuing its nice run here. Let's see if we're gapping higher again this morning. 344, so still all-time highs around that 350 range on GLD. That's the ETF. We're seeing weekly time frame really expanded, daily time frame also expanded. Could pull back here in this current trend structure. If we go back to that March low, 329 is our momentum zone, going all the way back to the last year's lows. If we grab this low around that 234, we are pulling back to 320. 322. Inside of this entire range from here to 322 would still be momentum. So we could see a pullback in gold. Ultimately, it would still be bullish at these levels. We're seeing a spike in the dollar right here as well, corresponding to that little pullback in gold, but dollar's starting to get some strength. We're also seeing a spike here in yields this morning, 365 on the 2-year, and starting to see some compression again back on the trend condition for the short end of that yield curve, that 2-year time frame. Let's see if we're dipping. Give that a pullback here. That 350 range is held up and working its way back to that 368 range on the 2-year. The 10-year 418 is our current yield this morning, and we're seeing still majority bearish at 11 and 3. And sorry, we're just getting some slow data here. The 410 is 4 is the low. 420 we're testing and approaching that level on yields. So we'll see if rising oil, rising yields, rising VIX, retracement in S&P futures at all-time highs. There are a few ticks right there for some bearish tone going in today. We'll see if we get any acceleration on that. A couple trade ideas to consider. RE, nice confirmation bar into momentum, and a couple other names that are in those deeper retracements that we've seen the last week or so. SLDB in the biotech space, nice confirmation bar, pulling back 50% retracement, getting back up above that corrective zone with a solid bar. Not quite, I would say it did close inside of that momentum zone. I'll see if we get any follow through on those names. There's a few additional names that are in the new buy list. If you want access to that new buy list inside of your TradingView platform, there are links in the description, either through the Discord server or the Substack location, to be able to get all the training, get everything set up, get the dashboard set up, and we've got a really easy process to be able to get you in there and be able to utilize this system. That'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a fantastic day today.